2 a.m. Metal on stone. Obinna sat up, heart pounding. He crept to the window. Moonlight washed the compound pale. Mama Obi stood by the cassava patch, digging, bare hands, clawing. She pulled out several small clay pots, different sizes. A clay pot buried in the earth, secrets in the soil. One mistake, and a life is trapped forever. Obinna is about to uncover what has been hidden for years. Don't miss the moment it's revealed. Each sealed with red wax. She lined them up, kneeling, praying, not for him, for control. Stay down, she whispered. Every star I buried stayed down. Her voice hardened. I buried Ngozi's brilliance. I silenced Chukwudi's rise. I turned Emeka's mind. I bent Chinedu's spine. I dried Amaka's womb. Each name struck like a drumbeat. I did it so you would shine, she hissed. But the soil does not forget. She clutched the pot, marked with his name. You will not go abroad. You will not rise and leave me. Their destinies are screaming, and now they are calling you. She buried the pot, covered it. Pat, pat, pat. Obinna collapsed away from the window. The curse was not protecting him. It was rebounding. Every destiny she crushed was circling back, hunting him. The earth was collecting debt. He reached for the door, locked. I heard you, Mama Obi said softly from outside. Sleep, my son. The night is dangerous. The room closed in, like a jar, buried alive. The night is alive. The walls are listening. Every step Obinna takes could awaken forces he cannot fight. Watch closely. Turning away now might mean you miss the fire that will change everything. The door clicked. Click. Unlock. The sound cut through Obinna's skull like a blade. Sunlight flooded the room, violent, intrusive, unforgiving. It spilled across the cracked floor and climbed his legs, his chest, his face, bright enough to hurt. Too bright for a place where truth had been buried overnight. He hadn't slept. Not even for a moment. He sat on the edge of the bed, fully dressed, spine stiff, feet planted as if the floor might vanish. His eyes were bloodshot. His hands trembled faintly, betraying the calm he was forcing himself to wear. Mama Obi stood in the doorway. She held a tray. Pap, akara, milk. Steam rose in soft, innocent spirals, curling like prayers that had learned how to lie. Good morning, my prince, she sang. Her voice was light, airy, sweet, the same voice that used to wake him for school, the same voice that once soothed fevers and wiped tears, as if the night had never happened, as if the lock hadn't turned, as if she hadn't been outside digging destinies into the earth. Obinna looked at her, not quickly, not emotionally. He really looked, and for the first time in 28 years, the veil dropped. He did not see his mother. He saw a stranger wearing his mother's skin. The smile was correct but incomplete. It stopped at the mouth, never reaching the eyes. The eyes were sharp, alert, measuring, like someone checking whether a trap had held. Mama, his voice came out cracked, scraped raw by fear. The door, it was locked. She stepped inside and set the tray on the small wooden table with careful precision. Didn't blink. Of course it was, she said calmly. There are thieves everywhere now, even daylight thieves. A woman must protect what she has. She reached out and placed her palm on his forehead. Cold, too cold. You look tired, she said softly. Did you have a nightmare? Yes, Obinna thought. You. But he nodded. Yes, he lied. Bad dreams. Eat, she said, the softness evaporating. I put plenty ginger. It will clear your chest. He picked up the spoon. Every instinct screamed. Not poison of the body, poison of the spirit. The kind that slows your feet. The kind that teaches your soul to accept stillness. The food of stagnation. But a goat trapped in a lion's den does not bleat. It learns silence. He forced the spoonful of pap into his mouth. Swallowed. It tasted like ash. I'm going to the stream, Mama Obi continued, adjusting her wrapper. Clothes won't wash themselves. Stay inside. Rest. Don't go out. The sun is too hot for you. Yes, Mama. She turned to leave, humming a church hymn as she walked away. Abraham's blessings are mine. The words burned. Blessings, she sang, while strangling destinies. He waited. 5 minutes. 10. The gate creaked open, then shut. Silence. Obinna stood. He was alone. He didn't stay inside. He ran, out the back, through the broken fence hidden beneath palm fronds. His lungs burned as he inhaled freedom, like it might disappear if he slowed down. He didn't know where he was going, only where he could not stay. His feet carried him toward the old market square, the forgotten place, the dumping ground where broken things and broken people were left to rot. That was where he saw him. Emeka, Auntie Nkechi's son, the brilliant one, the medical student, the boy who was supposed to save lives. Now sitting on a heap of refuse, wearing 3 shirts over each other, all torn, all filthy, he was talking to a dead lizard. Obinna's chest tightened. Emeka? The madman stopped. Slowly, mechanically, his head turned like a rusty hinge forced to move. His eyes were wild, rolling, lost. Then they landed on Obinna and stopped. Clarity slammed into them like lightning. The prince, Emeka whispered. He giggled a thin, unsettling sound. The prince has come out of the jar. Obinna froze. What did you say? Emeka sprang up suddenly, scrambling over trash, grabbing Obinna's shirt with shocking strength. His breath reeked of decay and forgotten meals. The jar, he shrieked. The clay pot. It's hot. It's burning. Can't you feel it? He jabbed Obinna's chest. Hard. She put you in the big one, the king size, because she loves you the most. Obinna grabbed his wrists. Who, Emeka? His voice shook. Who put me there? Emeka's eyes darted around wildly. Shh, he hissed. The mother hen, the one who eats her eggs to protect them from the snake. He leaned in, drool trailing down his chin. She buried mine under the udara tree, he whispered. I saw her, but she took my voice, took my stethoscope, and gave me this. He gestured at the trash beneath his feet. Then his face changed. The madness fell away. For 3 seconds, Emeka was whole. Obinna, he said clearly, painfully. Break it. If you don't break it, the water will dry up. When the water dries, his eyes filled with terror. You die. Where? Obinna shook him. Where is it? But the moment shattered. Emeka laughed again, dancing away. Fire, he sang. Only fire fights water. Burn the house. Burn the witch. He ran, chasing shadows. Obinna stood trembling. The Udara tree, their compound, it was real. The madman was the witness. Madness was the price of sight. Obinna turned back toward the house. Fear had left him. Something colder had arrived. The flames within were no longer pain. They were fuel. He returned before Mama Obi. The house was quiet, too quiet. He walked to her room, the inner room, locked. Of course. He found wire in the kitchen, bent it, knelt, twisted. Click. The door opened. The smell struck first. Camphor, incense, old blood. The windows were sealed with black cloth. Not a bedroom, a museum. On the table, objects, receipts, a stethoscope, Emekas, bound with red thread, baby shoes, amakas, stuffed with dried pepper seeds, a passport photo, chinedus, a nail through the legs, and in the center, a miniature convocation gown, his name stitched inside, submerged in stagnant green water. A dead scorpion floated on top. Stagnation, Obinna whispered. She had watered his failure, prayed it alive. A shock bit his finger as he touched the bowl. Deep magic, ancestral wickedness. If he broke it, she might die. Footsteps. Obinna? Mama Obi's voice, sharp now. He lifted the bowl. The pain surged through his arms. She burst in, terror naked on her face. "Put it down," she screamed. "You will kill us both." Tears streamed down Obinna's face. "You killed me first," he said calmly. Slowly, he raised the bowl. Let the river flow. A life stolen, a mind bound, a fire waiting to ignite. Obinna is about to step into the truth behind his family's curse, and only the brave will see him rise. Stay with him to witness the flames within crash. The sound was not ordinary. It was not clay meeting floor. It was a detonation, a gunshot inside a cave, a thunderclap trapped indoors. The vibration punched through the cement, raced up Obinna's legs, rattled his ribs, and lodged itself behind his teeth. His jaw ached as if he had been struck. The bowl shattered. Not gently, explosively. Stagnant water burst outward, splashing across the floor in violent arcs. Green, thick, alive, it hissed as it touched the cement, bubbling faintly like acid-eating stone. Mama Obi froze mid-lunge. Her arms were still stretched toward him, fingers curved, claws half-formed, her face locked in an expression that did not belong to the living. Her eyes widened further, so wide that the whites swallowed the iris. For one suspended second, nothing happened. Then the scream came. It did not rise from her mouth. It tore out of her belly, from the womb that had carried him, from the place where cords were tied and destinies knotted. It was the scream of something ancient being ripped loose. A sound so raw, an invisible force flung her backward as if she had been kicked by the earth. She slammed into the doorframe with a wet, hollow thud and collapsed onto the floor. She writhed. Obinna just shattered the chains that bound his life, but the consequences are rising. Obinna walked out. He could not stay in that room, not with the air thick with screams and endings. He stepped onto the veranda. The world had changed. The sky, blue, not dull, not heavy, piercingly clear. Wind brushed his skin, cool and clean. The smell of rain drifted in, fresh and alive. His phone vibrated, once, twice, then continuously. He pulled it out. Signal bars stared back at him. Full 4G. His breath caught. He opened the first message. Apex Oil HR. Dear Mr. Okeke, there has been a review of your interview process. The head of engineering reviewed your file personally. There was an error. We would like to offer you the position of junior process engineer. Immediate start. 2 minutes. 2 minutes since the bowl broke. He opened the second message. First Bank. Credit alert. NGN. 500,000. Narration. refund of overcharged tuition fees from 2018. Apologies for the delay. 5 years. The blockade had been exact, surgical, mechanical. She had been standing on the hose of his life. Now the water was rushing. A shout broke through his thoughts. Obinna! Papa Nkechi came running. Emeka! The man gasped. Emeka! The madman! Obinna's heart jumped. Is he dead? No! Papa Nkechi shouted. He walked into the market square, asked for water, asked for clothes. He is speaking clearly. He asked for his mother. Obinna closed his eyes. The stethoscope, the snapped thread. The dam was broken for everyone. The river of fate has broken its dam. Every curse, every secret, every bound, life is unraveling. Watch closely. Obinna is not the only one whose life is about to change. Obinna returned inside. The house was silent, too silent. Mama Obi lay curled on the floor, small, fragile, breathing shallowly. He knelt. Mama. Her eyes opened, milky, clouded. The fire was gone. Did the job come? She whispered. Yes, Mama. A faint smile. My prayers worked, she murmured. Obinna said nothing. I am cold, she said. The inside cold. She squeezed his hand weakly. Bury me well. He nodded. She exhaled and did not inhale again. Obinna sat there for a long time, holding her hand, holding his phone, holding the cost. The price of the open door, he whispered, is the death of the gatekeeper. He stood and walked into the light. Umweze is a village that loves the dead more than the living. When a person is breathing, they count their flaws. They weigh their failures. They whisper about their poverty, their children, their mistakes. But when a person dies, they bleach the memory. They wash the past with tears and perfume it with praise. 2 weeks after Mama Obi's death, the compound overflowed. Canopies bloomed like giant mushrooms, white, blue, gold. Red plastic chairs stretched into the road. Loudspeakers screamed hymns and highlife in turns. The smell of jollof rice mixed with gunpowder and dust. Boom! The cannon shooters fired again. The ground shook. Children screamed with excitement. Old men nodded solemnly. Another soul had gone home. Obinna sat in the front row, chief mourner, white from head to toe. White kaftan, white cap, white handkerchief folded neatly on his lap. Even his shoes were white, a color reserved for innocence, purity, and lies. To his right sat the village elders, stern, important. To his left sat the pastor, already sweating, already warmed up for performance. The coffin lay in front of them. White, gold handles, glass top. Mama Obi lay inside like royalty, her face painted smooth, peaceful, almost kind, as if she had never screamed, never dug, never buried destinies. Obinna stared at the coffin without blinking. The pastor grabbed the microphone. Feedback screamed. He smiled. Mama Obi, the pastor thundered, was a saint. The crowd responded instantly. A Deborah, he continued, a prayer warrior, a woman who stood in the gap. More murmurs, heads nodding, women dabbing eyes. She was a mother who fought battles in the night so her son could shine in the day. The pastor pointed dramatically at Obinna. Look at him. All eyes turned. Today, he is an engineer with Apex Oil. Applause exploded. Why? The pastor shouted. Because Mama Obi prayed him into destiny. Obinna's jaw tightened. He felt the irony settle on his chest like a boulder. Yes, she fought battles in the night. Against him. The crowd clapped harder. Obinna stared at the coffin. Paid for with his sign-on bonus. The prison funded the monument to the jailer. A woman from the Women's League stepped forward, heavy-set, loud, weeping theatrically. "Mama Obi," she cried, "you left us too soon. Who will lead the prayer group? Who will fast for the youth?" Obinna's fingers dug into the armrest. His knuckles whitened. He imagined standing up, grabbing the microphone, telling them everything: the jar, the stethoscope, the madness, the cripple, the buried futures. But he didn't, because this was Africa. You do not accuse the dead, even when the dead tried to eat you alive. He lowered his eyes. "Rest, Mama Obi," he thought. "Your secret will die with you, not for your sake, for mine." A son carries his mother's name before he carries the truth. They celebrate Mama Obi as a saint. The burial ended. The celebration began. Music blasted. High life legends filled the air. Bottles clinked. Plates scraped. People laughed loudly, relieved that death belonged to someone else. Obinna stood near the gate, watching, detached. Then he heard his name. Obinna. The voice was calm, controlled, not drunk, not loud. He turned. Emeka stood there, clean, shaven. He looked thinner than before, but his eyes were steady, clear, present. No spinning, no shadows. "Emeka," Obinna said quietly. They stood facing the house. "That story they are telling," Emeka said, nodding toward the speakers. "Is it true?" "She died of heart failure," Obinna replied. Emeka nodded slowly. "My headache stopped," Emeka said. "The exact moment she died, 2 o'clock. Like someone switched off a generator." Obinna swallowed. "The noise in my head disappeared," Emeka continued. "For the first time in years, I slept." He turned to Obinna. "Thank you." "For what?" Obinna asked, though he already knew. "For breaking the jar." Obinna stiffened. "I don't know what you mean." Emeka smiled faintly. "You don't have to. Some things are not for the mouth." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a stethoscope. New, clean. "I'm going back to school," Emeka said. "Next month, to finish." Obinna nodded. "The road is open." "Yes," Emeka said softly. "We were born twice." He walked away, back into the noise, back into life. Obinna stood alone. For the first time, he understood karma. Not punishment, correction. Some wounds heal, some curses lift. Emeka is returning to life, and Obinna is watching history correct itself. Stay, see the power of courage and truth in motion. By evening, the compound emptied. The canopies vanished. The chairs were stacked. What remained was trash, bones, bottles, silence. Obinna walked into the house one last time. The air felt different, lighter. He entered the inner room. It was clean, bleached, salted, bare. No trophies, no jars, no prayers soaked in fear, just walls. He stood in the center. He searched himself for anger. It wasn't there. Only pity. Mama Obi had loved him. But love poisoned by fear becomes a cage. "Goodbye, Mama Obi," he whispered. "I forgive you, but I will not repeat you." He locked the room, locked the house, locked the gate. The house is empty. The past is ashes. But Obinna's journey is not over. Watch him take the first real breath of a life. Finally, his own. The taxi honked. Obinna stepped out, carrying a proper suitcase. Not the bag of shame he arrived with. He entered the car. "Oga, where to?" "Airport." The car moved. Umweze slid past the window. The red earth, the palm trees, the market square. Obinna rolled down the window. The air smelled clean. Not smoke, not fear. Morning. He placed a hand on his chest. The fire was gone. What remained was rhythm, life. He typed one line on his phone. The fire that burned the house also cleared the path. The car turned. The village disappeared. Obinna did not look back. Obinna has walked out of the fire, leaving the village behind. His story ends here, but yours continues. What would you have done in his place? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let the village hear your voice.